Hey everyone, and welcome to this video with the brand new Bose QuietComfort 45. This headphone just released today, and I'm going to compare it to the QC25s and the QC35s that I've been owning since about 2018. And it has been my favorite headphones ever. And I think the QuietComfort is the most comfortable headphone. I am still using the QC25 in this streaming setup for a reason, because it is very lightweight, very comfortable. I like the sound. It's very flat. There's no bassy booming or very high-pitched highs. So I'm using it because even inside my house, I still have noise. Cars go by, fridge is running, AC is running. If I turn the noise canceling on, I can hear better. I can hear better in games. I can hear better in videos. I still preferred this over any other headphone I've tried. I owned the Sony XM4, which was great, but not perfect. And I decided to let that go, and I'm going to let my 35 twos go and just keep this. This will be my all-around, all-day headphones that I travel with, work with, and do everything I want. So in this video, we're going to jump in and unbox this thing, and then compare the differences to the previous model, the QC35 twos, and see what the new things are. So right out of the box, they changed the packaging a little bit. As you can see here, the box is actually black with a white sleeve. Previously, it was pretty much the same, but the sleeve was just sliding in and out. Now it's sideways, and you actually see the black box straight out of it. This particular one is the black model. The back says premium sound, world-class noise cancellation, transparency mode, noise rejecting mic array for clear calls, USB-C, and the Bose Music App. So right off the bat, there is two different things that I notice. I know that the noise canceling is going to be incredibly good, but the previous model did not have transparency, at least at the beginning, and then they added a version of it that was not really good. On that note, I did prefer the Sony version, but I'm thinking this is going to be even better than that. And then USB-C is a huge plus. I can't believe that this version, the twos, were still micro USB. This was pretty much the only device with micro USB that I had to charge that way. Everything else I own is Type-C already. So that's a huge plus. And they moved over from the Bose Connect app, what it looks like the Bose Music App. And the Bose Music App is used for the Bose sunglasses that have speakers in it, which I actually own one of them, and not the Connect app. The Connect app was still good for the QuietComfort 35s, but you gotta have to use the Bose Music App. So let's jump right into this. There is a seal on the bottom that you have to break off, and then the sleeve just comes off, and I'm assuming that it's just gonna open straight up. So let's see. Oh yeah. So standard packaging, plastic sleeve on the case. All right, so the case looks pretty much identical to the QC35's case. And I'm gonna open that real quick because I wanna see what the size difference is, if there's any. Because honestly, to me, it looks like they just reused the whole case. So this is the old 35 and the new 45s. This is different. This is the old one. This is the new one. That actually might be better on the old one, honestly. But maybe nobody used it, so they didn't really care. But as you can see, everything else... Oh, okay. So zipper. On the old one, and I'm going to raise this up, the zipper is plastic and it has Bose branding on it. On the new one, it's a leather loop with no Bose branding at all. So that's the difference. I actually prefer the old one in this case. I would think that it's easier to hook up the carabiner or something on this. But, all right, let's look inside the box. Standard manuals and safety instructions. How to turn it on. Get the Bose Music App, and that is it. I don't think we need too many instructions on how to use a headphone like this. So let me go ahead and open it up and take a look. Ta-da! Okay, so inside, case looks exactly the same as the previous one, QC35s. The same sleeve for cables, and it looks like they did include a bunch of packaging. So you get one 3.5 to 2.5 millimeter cable. This one does not have a microphone, so it's just a standard cable. It's probably the one that you can buy with the old ones too. It's not gonna be too long. And then we got this massive foam piece. We probably don't need it. And then we got a foam piece that wraps around on the other side. And then another small one in here. So there's no divider in here that would keep the case from crushing, which is why I actually loved the Sony one, because they had a little divider. So if the headphone was in here, here would have a divider that prevented the case from being crushed, so your foam pads would stay like almost like in the same condition as they are now. But with the QC35s, if you put this in a backpack and you put pressure on it, what would happen eventually is that your pad would shrink, and it would kind of stay like that for a little while when you start using it, so it may not actually seal all that well. And we also get this Type-C to regular USB Type-A connector that is also pretty short. So it's pretty good for traveling and just keeping it inside the case. The cable itself is good quality. It is Bose branded, as you can see it right here. And this would fit perfectly inside here. So I think that is totally fine. All right, so let's take a look at the headset itself. Right out of the box, the black actually looks like it has a very faint blue tone. And I don't know if you guys will see that, but it was actually turned on in the box. So that's how it arrived. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but the overall design, as far as I can tell from the outside, is pretty much the same as it was before. It looks like a little bit more fat around the ear cups, and the buttons are pretty much in the same place. I feel like these are the buttons from the 700 series, which I generally didn't like because of the outside design. So I prefer the QC45 because it looks like the QC35. So I think they did a good job on not changing anything. Everything feels pretty much the same. As you can see, charging port now is a USB Type-C, and then we got our 2.5 millimeter jack on this side. Inside, there's no color like on previous generations. The inside sometimes came as blue, like the standard Bose blue. If I show my QC25s, you can see that the QC25 has blue interior. This is pretty standard now, and it doesn't really matter. This is just a design choice. And let's see. Let me compare this to the QC35s real quick, because I want to see how much of a difference is, if there's any in like size or anything like that. So this is the QC35 and this is the QC45. If you spot a lot of differences, which you're not, is maybe the color of the Bose logo. This is black on black on the one. This one is silver on this one. And this hard edge that goes around the 35s is gone. This one just fades in perfectly flat. But button placement, big button here for like your Google Assistant, and volume buttons on here, charging port, and everything is the same on this one. So there's no difference there. The only thing I do not see is the NFC icon. They may actually have removed that. So on the 35s, there is an NFC spot where you can touch your phone for pairing. And that is marked with this NFC logo here on the, what is this? The right cup, right under the microphone. That's the NFC logo. So you can fast pair it with a phone if you do that. On this one, there is no such thing, unless they just completely hid it and not put a logo, and then if you just touch your phone to it, it will work. I didn't see this in the manual, so I'm gonna check this real quick. Power slide, okay, no. App Store, you just turn it on. And that's it. All right, next step, let's connect this to the Bose Music App. So this is the Bose Music App, and you can see that I already have my glasses paired to this. So I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to actually put this on. I'm going to grab and turn this on. It's playing music. I know you guys can't hear it. It's very long. So usually they do like a chime or whatever. This one was like a full-blown intro. It did sound pretty good. Okay, so the voice of the lady who's speaking is the exact same as the Bose QC35s. So it just said that, you know, get the Bose Music App. So I got the app here. I'm going to hit headphones and frames, and it's going to say searching nearby. So yes, Bose QC45s connect. There might be an update. So if you ever have to update your headphones, I actually encourage you to do this because they do add features over time. So make sure you get the app, and then if there's an update, just let you do that. As usual, you can name your headphones to some random thing, and they usually give you pretty good like samples. You can just name it Bose QC45, but they usually give you pretty funny ones. So Blacksmith's Dust, Electric Earmuffs, Hypernova, Obsidian Night. There's a couple good ones. I think my previous one was something about space. So Serenity Vortex would be pretty good. But I'm just going to go with Obsidian Night and hit save. And it just says your product has been renamed. So product tips, audio controls are on the right ear cup. Pretty standard. Changing the volume is the same. Skip forward is double click. Skip wet triple click. That's the same thing. Phone calls, center button, same thing. Modes. Press the action button on the left ear cup to switch between quiet mode and aware mode. Quiet mode lets you block out noise. Aware mode lets you hear your surroundings. So this is pretty much the transparency mode that was not available on the QC35s. And some features were only added to specific serial numbers that were produced after a certain date. So that is definitely an upgrade. Access your voice assistant. Press and hold the center button to access voice control on your mobile device. When you hear the tone, okay, so this one is changed because previously the button on the left was the one that you used for your voice assistant. All set, setup complete, and it was still like making some music. So it looks like I got 30% battery, and it is connected to my phone. You can go into modes. There's quiet mode, and there's aware mode. Yes. So when I do this, I just set it to aware. I can hear myself again. Previously, I didn't hear anything. It was so good. I can also hear something in my house that's making a noise. It could be my fridge or something. You just hear it. And quiet mode, and this turns on. It's peace and quiet. Like I literally can't hear anything, even myself. I'm going to put it back to aware mode because I actually like to listen to myself when I talk. Source would be my iPhone. You can actually add multiple sources. And then if you go into settings, you can go through a couple of things. You can actually turn remember my mode on if you want that to be a thing where if you change to aware mode, the next time you put it on, it would still be aware mode. Self voice is controlling how much you hear yourself. So currently it's set to medium. If I turn it to low, I would hear myself lower, and then high would be I would hear myself more. But this is, I think it's a setting only for phone calls. So if you're on a phone call, the only reason you should turn it on if you don't want to scream, because a lot of people, when they on a phone call and they wear headphones, they start to speak louder because they want to hear themselves. So if you're not in aware mode, or if you're one of those and you want to keep it quiet, just make to put that on high, and then you can hear yourself better, and that way you're not gonna start screaming when you're in a phone call. And auto turn off, you can go from 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, and never. I usually have this on never because when I fly, I don't always actually play music, but I want to be able to have this on for 8 hours during the whole flight. I don't want it to turn it off. So on the normal, normal days, or if I'm not flying, this could be easily set to an hour, and that should be sufficient. Voice prompts. Voice prompts is the lady talking to you that's giving you, like, when you turn it on, it will tell you the battery life, or if you're switching to modes, it will do that. Some people prefer this. I usually turn it off because I'm okay with just the chimes. It will still make little noises and chimes when you do this. And technical info will give you like firmware versions and manufacture date. Mine was manufactured August 5th, 2021. Today's release date. So I'm recording this September 23rd, 2021. I guess that's how long it took them to get enough and start the product launch. And that's pretty much it. The quiet mode is fantastic, and the comfort is pretty much the same. I think it might actually be a little bit bigger inside because I don't really feel my ears touching the interior plastic of the headphone. So I think the internal ear cup is a little bit bigger than the 35s. And the one thing I have to add to this is accessories and cables. Because they stuck to the same 2.5 millimeter, which I'm not a huge fan of. Honestly, I would really prefer them to go to 3.5 millimeters so we could use our own cables. And it would be a stronger connection, because the 2.5 millimeter comes out pretty easily, plus you can break it easier. And I don't like any of those scenarios. And I know they want to push everybody to get more virtual and just use the headphone with Bluetooth and everything. But when you have to connect to something, especially in video production, if you're gaming, you need to use a cable. So any standard cable that you already own would work. And you can still use these with an Xbox. And I'm specifically highlighting the Xbox is because all of these headphones, if you buy the Apple version, they all came with an Apple version microphone in the box. It looks like in this generation they changed it because they don't even give you a cable with a microphone anymore. As we looked at this one, this is just a standard cable that does not have a microphone on it. This is the standard 2.5, 3.5 millimeter cable that is actually pretty short. So compared to the microphone ones, this is like, if I fold it in half, I can probably fit it through the whole screen. It's not long. It wouldn't work for my setup where I have my mixer over here on the left and I need to run the cable all the way up here. It would not work. So this is good for like listening in like the airplane. So the only reason why I would have this is to have it on a plane where you plug it into the screen and then plug it into you. Then it doesn't matter if it's short, because you don't really want to, have the cable dangling too low and then you tuck on it all the time. So this is probably perfect. But it's not really good for anything else. But if you have the old cables from your QC35s, 25s, those still work. This is one of them. And this is the blue color that is actually the accent color of the 25s. And there are two versions of this cable. There's the Apple version that mostly came with every headset that you bought. But there's an alternative version, and this is the Android version of the cable. And I'm going to try to get the camera to focus on this, but you can see the tiny little Android logo over here. And why is this important? The reason why this is important, because this cable is compatible with an Xbox controller straight out of the box. So if you have Xbox One or the new ones, and your controller have the 3.5 millimeter plug, this 3.5 millimeter plug is fully compatible with this cable. So if you are using the Android version of this cable and you plug that into your headset, which you can do with all of these 25, 35, 45, then you can use party chat on an Xbox or the in-game chat with this, and it will work. And that was a huge plus for me, because when I played, I always hated the terrible headset that they included, and I didn't want to buy an Xbox specific headset that you need to have like a separate transmitter. It would be like you got to charge it separately, or if you just plug in a regular headset with the regular cable, then your teammates would not hear you because you don't have a mic. And unfortunately, the Xbox does not have an option to use external microphones like the PS4 or PS5 does. For that, I would just get an external sound card, and I would run a lav mic or something professional, because I want to have good audio, like here. Like I want to have good audio. And the Xbox is actually perfect this way, because you can use this cable, the Android version of the cable, and still have party chat and game sounds straight coming from the controller, so you can, control the balance and everything coming through the headset from your Xbox. You don't need any type of adapters. You don't need to use expensive gaming headsets. If you get this headset, put it in quiet mode, and you will be able to hear your teammates and the games and the enemies. If you're playing like competitive games like Warzone, much, much better, which is a huge plus. I'm still sticking to my QC25s for this particular setup, because it's essentially the same headphones, and the noise canceling performance is still good enough. This is obviously better, but it's still good enough to play games and be okay in this environment, because this is not as loud as an airplane. And I can change the batteries much faster because it's still using the AAAs. I can just pop one in 5 seconds and I'm good to go. I don't have to charge this I don't have to charge it like this one. So this is the quick unboxing in comparison to what my favorite headphones ever are, the QC25s and 35s. And I'm going to be using the QC45s from now on to pretty much everything I do, from working, producing, editing videos, traveling, trying to get a quiet moment. If I'm in the office and it's too loud, I just put this on and I'm good to go. Anyways, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing and quick comparison of the Bose QC45s. And if you like it, just drop a like on this video. I'm actually doing these live on Twitch when I get something new, and then I post the replay on YouTube. So if you want to catch these live, click on my Twitch link and hit follow. I got more parts coming up soon, and I'm also going to go through my whole setup on how I'm doing this in a separate video, where I'm going to explain the technical aspects of my complete setup on this very unique custom Twitch streaming desk. Anyway, thank you for watching, and see you guys in the next one.